Joining us now is Jolie McShane. Jolie is a business owner in Maryland, the People's Republic of Maryland, and she's an Army mom. And her daughter just returned from Afghanistan yesterday. And she is joining us now. Jolie McShane had an op-ed in the Baltimore Sun titled, Baltimore Businesswoman, I had high hopes for the Trump economy. It's even better. Hey, Jolie, thanks for being with us.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Before we get to business and the Trump economy and your company and all that good stuff in your op-ed, tell us about your daughter.
Oh, it's so exciting that she's back. We're thrilled. She was working with a very special team, as all of them are in Afghanistan. I can't disclose that, but they're doing good things over there, and we're excited to have her home.
Everything in her deployment went well? She's okay, all that stuff?
Oh, she's great. She's great. Thank you for asking.
Okay. So you get your daughter back home. Hopefully the president can negotiate a deal with the Afghan government and the Taliban to get the majority of our troops out of there so your daughter does not have to go back. So hopefully we can get that done. You had an op-ed in the Baltimore Sun 8 days ago, about 10 days ago, called I Had High Hopes for the Trump Economy. It's Even Better. Can you tell us a little bit, a bit about your business, what you thought the Trump economy would be, and what impact it's had on you now? If you could kind of reemphasize that editorial you had a couple weeks ago.
So first, I'd like to say that we were all surprised that the Baltimore Sun picked this up. The Baltimore Sun, as you all know, is very left-leaning. I received right out of the box maybe about 20 emails, because my email address is on that op-ed. And of those 20, there was only 3 that were negative. And I was rather surprised by that. Mm-hmm. Most of the people made the comment, wow, I'm so surprised the Baltimore Sun printed this. My business is a very small business. I build websites for utility construction companies. So these are the people that are on the ground helping our country be as spectacular as it is. They're making sure that the gas lines get spread throughout the United States, that we have power to run our homes and to work with our manufacturing companies. Also, electrical grids. I work with companies that build electric grids. So it's a small business. All of us have been in the industry that work in this line of business.
So what are some of the implications? What has Trump done to help your business to such an extent, Jolie?
So I am so busy that I've had to turn away work because I don't have the people in place in order to expand. That's number one. Number two, because we do all the digital marketing for our customers, they are asking us to place ads looking for people. They are desperate. It's not just one of my customers located in Texas. It's my Texas customer, the Ohio customer, Pennsylvania customer. And they are all looking for welders, pipe layers, electricians, truck drivers. These people are highly sought after. And we're placing ads all over the country looking for additional workers.
You mentioned you build websites for utility companies. So just in layman's terms, explain what that means. Like, what is your client base?
So my client base is construction companies that lay those pipes and that build those power lines.
Right.
So I just do a niche market for website construction, and we end up doing their marketing for them, all their digital marketing, which includes placing ads through Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn.
So what you're saying, when you look at construction, utilities, pipelines, wires, linemen, things like that, things going up in order to support business growth, that's basically the business you're in, supporting business growth. And what you're saying is business is booming because there's so much construction, there's pipe being laid, and then the need for that is linemen, truck drivers, welders, pipe fitters, all that is coming with it, and they can't keep up with the demand.
That's correct.
Right. Yet you're going to watch the Democratic debate tonight. And by the way, these are blue-collar, high-paying jobs, the majority of them. That all of them that you mentioned, these are not, I got an MBA from Wharton or from Princeton, right? These are blue-collar, supply chain, manufacturing jobs that the president has said he wants to bring back to the United States. And this is booming. So you're going to watch the nut job Democratic debate tonight. They're all going to be saying how dismal the economy is, and it's only working for the rich, and middle America is being left behind. How do you respond to that? Because that's what they're going to say tonight.
So for 15 years, I've been invited to interview rising seniors at the high school. And every year the teachers come in, present these children, every single one of them are supposed to go to college. And that has always been very disappointing to me because technical schools, trade schools, joining the union is just as important, and the opportunities are enormous for these kids, and the schools have never promoted it. For the first time this year, I was surprised to see that the union showed up to interview these kids. That transition is huge. That means that they're scraping for prospects to come into the union jobs. I hope they come in droves next year because these kids need to be woken up that college is not the only alternative for fantastic opportunities. Welders make six figures. They are highly sought after in this country.
So why do the Democrats lie about the economy, and why are they trying to jawbone a recession? What is your view on this, Jolie?
So they don't like the competition. I mean, a great economy means they're going to lose votes. It's as simple as that.
Right. Okay. So, I mean, it's unbelievable, and it took a lot of courage to do your op-ed and try to get it in the Baltimore Sun, and I congratulate them for running it. We're with Jolie McShane. She is a Army mom. Her daughter just got back from Afghanistan. She's an entrepreneur, a small business owner. She wrote an op-ed in the Baltimore Sun that they published September 2nd, about 10 days ago, saying about how the Trump economy is exceeding all of her expectations. Let me read one of the excerpts in your op-ed. You said, for example, income growth for workers who are in the bottom 10% of earners grew by 6.5% last year, surpassing the average wage growth rate of all workers in the U.S. Moreover, you said the unemployment rate for the Hispanic community, women, and the disabled are hovering near all-time lows. That is just the tip of the iceberg. Your customers, who are obviously in a growth spurt, what keeps them up at night? Are they concerned that there's a recession on the horizon, like the Democrats are saying? When you talk to your customers about the future, what is bothering them, Jolie?
What bothers them is they can't find enough people to do the work.
Unbelievable.
That they, too, have to turn work away. That's what keeps them up at night.
Unbelievable. I mean, that what an economy we're in, and yet the Democrats are going to paint the exact opposite picture. Anybody that you're talking to in your business, Jolie, concerned about this coming looming recession or crash that the Democrats and the propagandists on Wall Street keep telling us is going to happen?
I think we're so busy that we don't have time to pay attention to that.
Great answer. John Fredericks Radio Network. That's the best answer ever. We're with Jolie McShane. She just did an editorial, an op-ed in the Baltimore Sun, saying that the Trump economy bigger than ever. This segment brought to you by the Job Creators Network, a limited government free market advocacy group for small businesses. Jolie, you live in Baltimore, Maryland. The only time I go to Baltimore is to see an Orioles game, go to Pimlico racetrack for the Preakness, and I live in Washington, D.C. the majority of the week, and also once in a while see a Ravens game. So I don't go there a lot. But when I do, I shut the windows in the car and be sure it's locked. I remember one day taking my family to Pimlico, and it was not Preakness Day, and driving through, and I went the through the local streets going to Pimlico. Of course, you know where it is, so I didn't take the interstate. I went through town, all the side streets, and my son, who was he's 15 now, my youngest son was, I think, 13, maybe 12 at the time, and he looked out the window and he's like, "Where are we?" Like he was shocked that, it was like driving through Beirut at the height of the war. What is going on there?
It's very sad. Baltimore City is poorly run. We've been through multiple mayors, all on the Democrat side, that have ended up in jail for corruption. Unfortunately, Baltimore City is run by the Democrats and always will be. They have complete control of the election machine. I don't know how to say that, but I find that it's very corrupt down in the city. Maryland is a state. If you were to look at the 2016 election results, most people voted for Trump. The only places that did not are the two very highly populated areas, Montgomery County, outside of Washington, D.C., and Baltimore City. And the population of those two areas trumped any of us voters that voted for Trump for the majority of the state.
Mm-hmm.
So what's interesting is the whole state's Republican except for these highly populated areas, Baltimore City and Montgomery County. Mm-hmm. I think what Trump has done by putting a target on Baltimore City and showing that we have serious problems in the city, lots of murders every day down in that city, and it's filthy, it's dirty, there's a lot of trash, that maybe those that are down there, that are living down there, open their eyes and say, why do we keep voting these people in time and time again? We can only hope, but I have seen Trump win these battles before. Mm-hmm. He's magical. He wins.
It is sad because I'm a racing fan, so I go to Pimlico all the time because it's an iconic track. So that takes me through the area. But I remember as a young man, when Richard Nixon named Spiro Agnew his vice presidential running mate and was 68. I think it was at the Miami convention. You probably don't remember this because I'm so much older than you are, Jolie. But he named Spiro Agnew. And everybody is like, who's Spiro Agnew? That was like a way out of left field choice. And he was the governor of Maryland and the former county executive of Baltimore County. And I remember when he first got on the news, and very few people knew who he was, the news was saying that one of the reasons Nixon picked him is what a great job he did in the city of Baltimore and what a great city it was and how clean it was, and it was revitalized. And this was like 1968. So I was like, well, what the hell happened between 68 and now? In that 50-year period, obviously it's declined to a major extent. How do you fix it?
Cleaning it up. I think that's a great start. Rudy Giuliani talked about this the other day when he took over New York City. Right. And I read his book. He said you have to start with the small items. You have to start with the small infractions. Right. And changing those small infractions move into bigger infractions. Right. We don't even have a good police department. Right. I mean, we keep replacing the chief of the police. It's so corrupt, yeah. It's very sad. We need to have strong leadership in Baltimore City.
Yeah, well, that is interesting. I mean, they should take a page out of Giuliani's book because I lived in New York when he took over from, I think it was, memories has to serve me here, I think it was Mayor Dinkins, and the city was a mess. I mean, you really could not walk the streets. Times Square was all squalor, sex shops. And the first thing he did, get this, is he instituted a new law and was going to fine people, and he did, which is you could not honk your horn for no reason. And everybody was like, how stupid is that? I remember that specifically. Like, you're going to get a fine for honking your horn. It was the first thing he did. It was tiny. It was small. But what it did was it improved your quality of life because you would walk down the street or go to your apartment and people would honk 24 hours a day for no reason, right? They started giving out citation after citation. And about 6 months, it went from like 99% to 5%, just stopped. And it was a tiny thing, but it was a big thing. And it also showed the residents of New York, like me at the time, that, hey, you can actually fix this. Then the other thing he did is he put kiosks, cop kiosks, on virtually every 2 blocks. So you couldn't walk 2 blocks without an officer there. So your sense of safety went up dramatically. And again, these, like you said, you just start small and you go from there. Jolie, thanks for being with us. I really enjoyed it. I want to follow your company and have you back on, and thanks for being with us today. So glad that your daughter's home safe from Afghanistan.
Thank you so much for that.
Stay on a second. Ian Lovejoy running against #CommieLee of the CCCP coming right up.